Hello, this is my Crazy X channel. Please subscribe.
I 26F almost cheated on my husband 27M with male best friend 26F. Story 1-2. My best friend, Gabe 26M, I've known for 7 years. We're really close and also work together. I met him before I met my then boyfriend, now husband Oliver 27M. Oliver has never liked Gabe. Oliver has previously expressed to me that he wasn't comfortable with Gabe, but at the time I didn't think anything of it. 2 years ago Oliver and I got married after college and it's been going great ever since. My other work friends, including Gabe, hang out often at each other's places and Oliver hates whenever I go over to Gabe's or when he comes to our house. We watch movies together often and have meaningful conversations that I really enjoy. Anyways, all that to say I thought everything we did was completely platonic. 2 days ago, we were sitting in his car, and the conversation got really depressing. I went to hug him and we said reassuring things to each other. It was weirdly intimate. When I leaned back, our faces were really close and we both went to kiss each other. I hesitated for a moment and almost let him do it before I pushed away. He drove me home and I felt guilty when I saw Oliver at home. I felt like shit and went to sleep immediately. Partly because I realized Oliver was right to doubt our relationship and also because I ducked up. I haven't said anything to Oliver and I don't know how I would tell him. Or do I not tell him at all? I really love my husband and I value my friendship with Gabe. I'm really confused and don't know what I say to either of them. TLDR, I'm married and almost kissed my male friend. Do I tell my husband? Update. I 26F almost cheated on my husband 27M with male best friend 26F update. Yes, I did tell my husband, Oliver, that Gabe tried to kiss me. He said he trusts me but wants me to stay away from Gabe. I told Gabe I wasn't comfortable with the turn our relationship was taking and it had to be platonic. This ended it and was months ago. We're still friends, we just don't hang out outside of work. More recently, a very close work friend, James, passed away and I have been an emotional wreck ever since. James, Gabe, and I used to duck around at work and we were all really good friends. Oliver barely knew my work friend and though he has tried to console me I just don't feel like he understands. The absolute pain I'm feeling right now is unmatched. James was a part of my chosen family. Gabe and I have been talking more to reflect on our time with James. This pissed my husband off. I don't want to invalidate his feelings and I understand his anger, but having someone who understands what I'm going through has been beneficial to my grieving. It makes me feel a lot better having someone who knew James as well as I did. I have really bad judgment and I'm honestly not sure what to do here. I'm quite literally sitting in a parking lot. TLDR, I told my husband male friend tried to kiss me and distanced myself from male friend. Male friend and I have a mutual work friend who passed. Husband is upset that I'm spending more time with male friend to talk about our past friend. Help? Redditors reactions. Redditor 1, yeah, you're definitely in the wrong here. I'm real sorry to hear about James, but Gabe does not respect your marriage nor your husband. And you yourself were wading into some very murky waters. That you aren't willing to do the one thing to make your husband comfortable again, and to help rebuild trust suggests to me that you don't really care about his feelings or his comfort. Redditor follow up, the way things are going if we have a update will be I cheated and my husband with my coworker this dude already showed to you that he will try again, and now that you are so emotional he will try again BK doubt, you should have keep him away from you. Now you are both disrespecting your husband and fueling his worry that you may cheat as you are give what Gabe wants that is your attention. You have to cut Gabe off right now. Your husband may understand once but I doubt that he will be understandable again, especially when you know that you are doing something that hurt him. Redditor 2, you literally lied to your husband when you tried to be honest to him. You admitted you went in for the kiss too. You need to accept everything you did wrong here. Grieving doesn't excuse your behavior now ignoring the boundary your husband has asked for. Redditor follow up, her goldfish died. Gabe loves goldfish too so she ducked him to grieve. Redditor 3, I'm super confused. A guy tried to kiss you. You told your husband. He said stay away and now you're still hanging out? Redditor 4, you know, you need to grow up. It sucks you lost a friend but you're about to lose your husband because you have the judgment skills of a 13-year-old. Redditor 5, there is no helping you here. Your husband made a reasonable demand and it is your choice whether you are going to continue to hurt him or whether you will accept his attempts at consoling you. Morally, I'd say you're being quite rude to your man by continuing to do this after you've already promised to stop it. But it is your life and you have to make the choices you want to live with. Redditor 6, I thought you both tried to kiss each other. Redditor 7, sorry to say, regardless of the situation, you broke a boundary and your husband has every right to be upset. You had an appropriate contact with this guy, and now you're compromised emotionally and you're talking to him again. Anyone who has lost a friend or family member can relate to what you're feeling. You didn't have to turn to Gabe. You made the choice and used the situation to break a boundary with your husband. In all seriousness, you should have turned to your husband, not to Gabe. Op answer, my husband didn't know my work friend well and Gabe did. Perhaps I shouldn't have turned to Gabe, but it was nice to talk and laugh about our favorite memories of our friend. I just really missed our trio. Redditor 8, oh Lord, my husband-wife just doesn't understand, so it's nice for me to spend time with someone that does, even though my husband-wife has explicitly asked me not to, but I'm so much more important that I shall just disregard as her requests and do what makes me feel good. Yup, you're a selfish twat looking for rationalization on why you should do what you want to do. Kiss your marriage goodbye and accept your part in its demise, because it's coming if you don't wake up and grow up. Redditor 9, to be fair, and since your husband won't see this post, do you want Gabe attention? So you want to cheat? Because I can't see a reason why would you go back to Gabe when you have a partner that is so understandable. Redditor follow up, it's because she is lying. To herself in particular. She's using the passing of a friend as an excuse to what she already wanted to do. Redditor 10, you keep putting Gabe before your husband. You and Gabe obviously can't be friends anymore because he doesn't respect your marriage or your husband, and it's starting to look like you don't either. Your husband is hurting and you just keep twisting the knife by running back to Gabe. You almost cheated and you are still actively going after the guy you almost cheated on him with. Terrible, awful, horrible, trashy, mean, hateful. You pick any of those words and they describe exactly what you are doing right now to your husband and your marriage. Redditor follow up, your post made me think. I think she is putting herself above everyone else, then Gabe, and hubby as an afterthought. And I do think she cheated, at least emotionally, and reading the comments about them both leaning in to kiss, I think she physically cheated. Op needs to better herself because she is using the death of her friend to return to her affair. Redditor 11, update us when you duck Gabe and Oliver leaves you. Op answer, I would, but that's not going to happen. I have no interest in ducking Gabe. Redditor 12, me. How selfish can one person be? Redditor 13, after reading the first post, you have all these glowing comments about Gabe, but not so much about Oliver. Perhaps you married the wrong person? Op answer, no, definitely not. Oliver and I just click and relate to each other, and I honestly adore him in so many ways. I just don't feel the need to give light to what already shines. Gabe and I argued often about nothing for years, and I will never love him like that. If I ever got married to Gabe, it would have turned into the pettiest catfight. Redditor 14, stop using your dead friend as an excuse to behave so selfishly. It cheapens his memory and you know it. Redditor 15, you are an architect of your own failure. Redditor 16, you're in the wrong. Get therapy, don't trauma bond with the man you almost cheated on your husband with. JFC. Redditor 17, well, this sounds familiar. Oh yeah, it's the start of an emotional affair that's going to turn into a physical one. Why are people so absurdly self-centered when it comes to cutting out unhealthy friendships? You almost cheated on your husband, lied to him about it, and are now going against the one thing he asked you for. Ducking hell. Redditor follow up, no, you don't understand. Her friend died and the only one that understands her pain is Gabe. No one else. Not her husband, not a grief counselor or a therapist, or another friend. Redditor 18, you are still in the wrong. I'm sorry about your friend, but going to the man that tried to cheat with you is a bad move still. Especially right now when you are both emotionally vulnerable. Not trying to accuse you of doing anything or possibly doing something, but I understand your husband. Redditor 19, having someone who understands what I'm going through. But who isn't my partner is the phrase 100% of cheaters use. 100%. Redditor 20, Gabe was never a close friend. He secretly wanted to be with you all those years. Answer, I've known Gabe before I met my husband. If he wanted to be with me he would have expressed that before. Story 2-2, married 15 years, wife cheated on me 13 years ago. TLDR, wife 36F and I 36 meters have been married 15 years. I found out she cheated on me twice with a friend of ours while I was away for work 13 years ago. We had 1 kid then, 2 now. What do I do? Sometime last year my wife and I had gotten drunk and I was in a bad mood. I asked her some questions that a spouse doesn't typically feel the need to ask. I don't remember the specifics but I remember the feeling. It was the first time I really considered that she might cheat on me. A few fights and several months later she finally tells me the truth. She had been with this guy twice and decided not to tell me because it would not have been good for our family. She told me about 10 weeks ago. I'm still just overwhelmed that I have lived this life with someone I thought I knew and could trust. I have a general dread when I wake up, knowing that a good portion of my day at work will be spent thinking about it. I have a good life, have a happy family and I still have love for my wife. I feel like she has taken something away from me and will hold it as long as I'm with her. I don't know how to move forward. I don't want to forgive her. I want her have to feel broken like I do. We have definitely spent time talking about it and she has made it obvious that she wants to stay together and is willing to work for it. I'm not ready to give up, but I don't see much light at the end of the tunnel. Have any of you been through something like this, felt like this and it worked out? How did you manage it? Please be cool with the vulgar woman hating crap I've said, thought enough for all of us already. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, big oof my dude. I suppose the answer to this is quite a personal one. I for one would be concerned that I didn't know the whole truth. If she was capable of it once, why not more? For me trust is paramount. What is the saying? I'm not upset that you lied to me, I'm upset that from now on I can't believe you. Friedrich Nietzsche. You should figure out if you can actually forgive her and move on. Because it would be equally unfair to both of you for you to try and forgive her, when in fact you cannot. Answer, you quote really nailed my feelings. Right now I hurt so much I don't want to forgive, I just want it to go away. 10 weeks feels like a long time to not really have a break from all my thoughts about this. I wonder how long is long enough to know I really tried and it's not going to work. Redditor 2, well, first figure out what you're feeling here. Do you think you can trust her? Do you think you know all of what happened? Then you need to talk to her about how you're feeling. Ask her why you should trust her. Ask her for the whole truth. Find out why she felt the need to do that and ask if it's something that she still feels is a problem. And now comes the hard part. If you want to stay together, you're gonna have to trust her. And that means putting yourself in a position to be hurt again if she breaks that trust. The crazy thing about being chested on and then deciding to stay together is that the cheater typically doesn't have to chance much of their done cheating. They already went through their transformation. The crazy part is that in order to trust this person again, you have to change and make yourself trust them again. It's ducked up. Answer, I truly do believe I know all the details. I don't think I'm at risk of her doing it again, but obviously my judgment is fucked. I think is why I can't shake it. The problem then was our communication. We were young, I was gone for months at a time and we were both too busy to do a good job of caring for one another. I never looked for support from any women, I didn't think things were that bad and if I were at that stage I think I would have brought it up. I think our communication skills are dramatically better, but again, she hid this for so long, what do I know? Redditor 3, you'll never, ever trust her again. You'll never, ever look at her the same way again. Duck any a shoal who says, but it happened 13 years ago. To you, it just happened 10 weeks ago. The wound is still fresh and open. It's okay to feel angry and betrayed. It's okay to not want to be with her anymore, and to no longer trust her. These are all normal feelings, and don't let the children here tell you differently. The only way this gets better is if you have the nerve to ditch her and move on with your life. Life's too short to commit to lying cheaters, especially ones who are capable of lying to your face for years after betraying you. Redditor follow-up, found out an ex had a hookup with her ex 5 years after it happened. Her reply was, It was 5 years ago. My reply was, it was last night I found out you ducked another guy 1 year into our marriage. She had no reply to that other than going into salvage mode. Divorced 45 days later. Redditor 4, get a DNA test on your kids and talk to a lawyer to get an idea of what your life might look like if you choose to move on. If you stay, you too need marriage counseling. Redditor 5, DNA test the kids, guarantee this wasn't only guy she cheated with. Get a divorce ASAP either way. Redditor 6, there are probably others. She only told you the minimum. Redditor 7, tip of the iceberg. Redditor 8, we have definitely spent time talking about it and she has made it obvious that she wants to stay together and is willing to work for it. Of course she wants to stay together, she is 36. It does not matter if it was 13 days ago or 13 years ago. Divorce her. Find someone who will not be a traitorous liar. Redditor 9, you must cut the cancer out at its source. Divorce her and seek therapy. Not in that order, maybe therapy first then divorce. Redditor 10, are you still friends with the dude that ducked your wife? Op answer, of course not. He was her friend and she had known him for a while. He was more of an acquaintance to me but her while family knew him. Redditor 11, ya dude. Get a divorce. You've wasted enough of your life on her. I'm still just overwhelmed that I have lived this life with someone I thought I knew and could trust. Yeah, well now you know what she's really like. Question is, are you gonna stick your head in the sand and be miserable, or get a divorce and find someone worthwhile? Op answer, thanks for these. Rigorous honesty from the last article sounds like a start. Redditor 13, if you want to work through it and you believe she wouldn't do it again, that's very big of you. Personally, I'd have the kids tested to see if they were mine. Redditor 14, you need to tell her that any trust that was created over the past 15 years is gone 100% and I would start by DNA your kids, even if you know they are yours. Redditor 15, paternity test on the kids would be my first move if I was a man in your situation, but I'm a woman. She's already proved to you that she's capable of cheating and lying. You have no idea if she still has any secrets. People rarely tell the full truth. I would want to make sure my kids are biologically mine. Redditor 16, the big questions to ask her, I think, are: what have you done to fix the damage you've done? What are you going to do to fix the damage? What are you doing to restore trust? The answer of I've been with you faithfully for 13 years doesn't really answer the questions. The damage is new, 10 weeks old. The lies went on for 13 years. Of course, the really fun question would be, you cheated with someone else n times. How would you feel if I do the same over the next year? Granted, the last one is harsh, and meant to get her to really face the reality of what she did, and understand the trust that has been broken, if she continually minimizes the severity of what she did. Op answer, I've asked these questions, and the 13 good years have come up. She's trying harder now, but that's super hard for me to understand because why wasn't she trying as hard before? We have discussed the hall pass as someone called it below. I'm free to do it, but I'm pretty sure there would be no coming back from it. Redditor 17, get a DNA test. Redditor 18, I'm shocked that she admitted it after 13 years, especially without proof. Although I shouldn't be. My parents went through something similar about 4 years ago. My mom had a suspicion that dad had cheated a long time ago, and had been pushing for him to admit it. She finally stopped asking, ironically after 13 years. And 6 months later he admitted to an affair with the woman mom had suspected all along. They did stay together, but it was hard for them. She was angry for a long time. She's still angry. But dad has terminal cancer, so she's pushed it aside. Be very aware that if you do forgive her and stay together, you're going to have times where this flares up in your head and relationship potentially for the rest of your marriage. Op answer, I kind of figured that I would be dealing with this for a long time. It's hard to see up the good versus bad on intangibles. I am totally lost. I know it's my decision to make, but it feels like I lose either way. I could hurt my kids if I leave, and I would for sure suffer not being with them all the time. Or I get to live with this pain that could endure. Redditor 19, y'all are going to need therapy, you personally, and then as a couple if you're going to work through this. Which after 15 years and 2 kids I completely understand the desire to do. Redditor 20, as Wayne says, If they cheat, it's over.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.